Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well today. Thank you all for being a part of today's focus group webinar, Zoho CRM Dashboard Components that you can leverage. If you have attended any of our focus groups before, you know what they're all about. For our first timers here, these webinars are purely to help you use and understand Zoho features better to implement the same in your business easily. And that's the aim behind every focus group, to make things a little easier. This webinar is all about Zoho CRM's dashboard components. We'll be discussing in detail the purpose of these dashboards for your business needs and how the analytical components can make your business process much easier. From discussing the basics of dashboards to setting up the ideal dashboard components for sales teams and sales oriented job responsibilities, we'll be taking you through it all. We'll be demonstrating each of the features we discuss, so do have your CRM system handy so that you can try them out simultaneously and post your questions in the Q&A panel. So I'm Jerry from the Zoho community team and I'll be walking you through today's session. Joining me are Sundarjan and Umesh will be acting as our panel today to make the most of their presence and feel free to ask them any related questions that pop up. We have a Q&A session towards the end of today's focus group, but you can ask questions as the session progresses using the chat interface. We've had to pre-record this webinar to avoid technical difficulties as much as possible. However, if you do face issues during the session, please be kind to let us know in the chat box and we'll rectify it as soon as possible. As the name suggests, today we'll be taking a dive into the various Zoho CRM dashboard components, how to make use of them for your business operations, how to create and customize them and make the best out of them. Since dashboard components fall under the analytical side of things, they help us completely understand numbers better. We'll also discuss 5 recommended dashboard components for salespeople, so stick around till the end of this webinar. As we keep discussing the topics, we'll pick business challenges that Zoho customers like yourself have faced and discuss how dashboard components in Zoho CRM can be leveraged to get past them. This business scenario. You run a digital marketing agency, you take care of brand social media presence. As an owner of an agency, you have internal teams taking care of operations. Your clients pay you every month. It's the business development team that continuously onboards new clients to the company's umbrella of brands. Now that you understand the process, let's say you suddenly need to know if any client has a pending payment. If you want to find out who your best performing salesperson is. If you want to get to know the revenue generated for each quarter. If you want to know how many leads have converted as clients for this month alone. Where do you go get this information from? If you still rely on piles of paper or hours of follow-up to get answers for these questions, then you're probably wasting a lot of time that can be productively used elsewhere where your business needs it most. Now let's get back to the question here. How do you get all that data? Who do you ask? Let's cut right to the chase here. Zoho CRM's dashboard components can help you get answers to all those questions and still get more valuable business insights in a single click. Most businesses make the most out of this feature and it's high time you do too. Dashboards in general bring the entire numbers game to a single screen. You can have it all from the revenue generated to sales targets and much more. The aim of dashboards is to make data representation easier so that one doesn't have to spend hours understanding data pertaining to particular business operations. Setting up these dashboards for your business is an effortless process and we'll help you get there. To keep it simple, dashboards is the big picture and analytical components are the pieces that make this big puzzle. Yes, analytical components are the ones doing the math. Based on user provided metrics and business requirements, these components compile complex piles of data and display them in a format that is consumable and easy to drive conclusions from. A range of dashboard components are available and we can choose from each of them based on how we want our data to be displayed. Data display has a psychological effect on people. It makes goal reaching faster or at least makes people think that the goal is nearer. Business owners, team leaders, and managers can play this to their advantage and easily increase productivity within teams. Types of analytical components. As we discussed previously, here is the list of analytical components available in Zoho CRM. They are charts, KPI, comparator, anomaly detector, target meter, funnel, cohort analysis, quadrant analysis. Let's take a quick brief on these components and which business need they match most. Charts. Charts are one of the basic data representation types. It helps give insights into records for easy analysis very quickly. Zoho CRM also provides different types of charts to choose from, which we'll get back later during the webinar. KPI is nothing but key performance indicator. As the name suggests, these components are used widely across dashboards as it allows users measure the performance of their teams. Comparator. Comparators let you compare your organization's data among users, roles, and over different time periods. With comparators in place, you can track information like sales team's performance over the years, number of deals lost or won in the consecutive months, or individual sales rep performances through different sales targets. Anomaly detector. Anomaly detection is the technique used to identify unusual or out of the ordinary behavior that does not conform with the normal trend of a business. For example, a sudden dip in purchases, lead conversions, or an increase in students dropping out of courses can indicate a negative deviation from the regular pattern. Target meter. With the help of target meter, you can set and monitor targets for your sales teams. From being able to view the number of leads generated in the current year to annual revenue for the last quarter, you'll be able to do it all. You can save the time spent on running through pile of reports to get these data, as all you need to do is choose a target meter and define the relevant parameters. Funnel. A funnel segregates the data based on different stages involved in your business process. It shows exact flow of data from its inception, that is lead generation, to the final process if and where the leads get converted. Its shape also resembles a funnel where the initial processes are mapped to the mouth of the funnel, and the shape narrows down to show that in the end only a few leads from the entire lot get converted. Cohort analysis. Cohorts are a group of users, customers, or data that share similar characteristics at any given point of time. Cohort analysis can be helpful for understanding customer behavior across the sales life cycle or their buying trends and patterns, for analyzing support costs over a specific time period or other similar metrics. Quadrant analysis. Quadrant analysis scatters the data that you want to analyze or measure into 4 quadrants. Imagine a graph with 4 axes. That's what quadrant analysis exactly does. Once it scatters the data across 4 quadrants, you can easily study information that would have been difficult to get a hang of otherwise. That's about analytical components in Zoho CRM and their briefs. Now let's take a look at the analytics gallery. What is the analytics gallery? It's basically groups of preset components put together for particular business requirements. For anyone who's new around here, these presets can really help. Considering regular business use cases, these presets are curated to cater to business needs on quite an advanced level. Here are the business needs the analytics gallery caters to: organization overview, lead analytics, potential insights, activity statistics, marketing metrics. Amongst these business requirements, one can choose the dashboards needed by simply clicking on the plus symbol. So let me quickly take you through the analytics gallery in Zoho CRM. We go to dashboards. If you click on add component, if you select unpick from gallery, you'll be able to see the analytics gallery. First, we have the organization overview. This gives you an overview of all important activities of your business. For example, if you look at this, it shows you the leads of this month, the revenue of this month, potentials in pipeline, accounts this month, lead generation target, revenue target, leads by source, prolific sales reps, invoices this month, quotes of this month, potentials by stage, accounts by industry, monthly lead generation by source, monthly revenue by users. It basically gives you an entire overview of activities in your organization. Next, you can click on lead analytics. Here you'll find today's leads, top 10 lead sources, this week's leads, top lead owners, junk leads by source, leads by industry, monthly lead creation, lead by lead status, untouched leads by owners, junk leads, untouched leads, leads this month. Under potential insights, We have revenue this month, potentials created, potentials in pipeline, revenue lost, revenue by users, potentials by stage, open amount by users, amount by stage, amount by potential source, top 10 potentials 1, open potentials by amount, major potentials lost this year, untouched potentials, prolific sales reps, potentials by lead source, open amount by closing date by users, monthly revenue by users, stage wise amount by users, and last 6 months sales. Then click on activity stats. You'll find the open tasks, tasks completed, calls this week, meeting this month, overdue tasks, tasks by users, calls by purpose, check-ins this year, calls by owner, call purpose by user. Finally, we have marketing metrics, total campaigns, actual cost, budgeted cost, expected revenue, campaigns by leads, campaigns by revenue amount, and campaigns by type. If you look closely, there are similar components between all these business requirements. For anyone who wants to take a start, can simply choose the preferred components, and once you choose, it shows the data for the metrics is already set. You can make changes if necessary and then hit save. Now we come to the important part of this webinar. As a salesperson, you already have a lot of things on your plate. You are left in a place where you have to consume a lot of data, but at the same time, not consume a lot of unnecessary data. And since time is always of the essence, it's wise to consume less information that conveys the maximum details so that your activities can be scaled accordingly. Here are 5 handpicked components that we recommend for salespeople. They are charts, the target meter, KPI, funnel, and quadrant analysis. These components are picked keeping in mind the activities of salespeople so that the same helps them in making their work much easier and efficient. In simpler terms, these components are used to compile and display data. How they display data and what kind of data is the catch, and that's what we're going to look at. Any business operation needs data representation, and a redundant and mundane way of consuming that data might not be as efficient when it comes to interpretation of that data. That being said, let's say you have a business use case to show the contribution of your salespeople in the lead conversion process or list the revenue generated for each month. For this requirement, you have to present the data to an investor. He or she might not be interested to look at it if it's very mundane. Or even if you have to take a call for a sudden action yourself, charts would be the best place to go. They represent data from various records over modules in a visual or graphical representation for an easy analysis. The data displayed is easily comprehensible as users can easily pick out the patterns, trends, etc., which may otherwise be difficult to interpret, and also easily arrive at conclusions or plan upcoming actions. Charts in Zoho CRM can help you create different types of charts based on different requirements, present information in a graphical pattern that is more understandable and consumable, customize, reorder, and organize the charts in the dashboards. Group data by day, calendar week, month, fiscal quarter, year, by fiscal year or fiscal quarter. Since Zoho CRM allows a range of chart types, you can select from the mentioned list based on your business requirements. Bar chart and horizontal chart. To display two or more kinds of data can be used to compare values across categories. The line chart. You can use this to display a trend over a period with variations in multiple values in a single chart. Pie chart and donut chart. To display data that is divided into triangular areas proportional to the percentages of the whole and used to illustrate the relationship of parts to the whole. Table chart. You can use this to show some of the values in each category of the data. The funnel chart. You can use this to display different stages in a process and the associated data across categories. Area chart. To visually represent one or more quantities that change over time. There are 2 ways to create a chart. One is to quick create and two is to create from reports. Let's take a look at a quick demo at both these ways to create charts. To create charts from reports, you can now click on the Dashboards tab. Here click on Add Component, click on Charts, and now select From Reports. So here we give this a component name. and we select the report that it has to be taken from. We give this a measure for the y-axis and the grouping criteria as the date. So once the module and all is selected, you can go click on more options. Before that, you can also choose from different type of charts available. And then once you're done giving the maximum grouping threshold, you can then click on save. You can now see that a component is generated to show us the record count of email actions over the given dates. Now for the second way of creating charts, using the quick chart option. In the quick charts, you can create charts by defining your own metrics. To create a chart from quick chart, just go to dashboards, click on add component and charts. Just click on quick chart. We can give this a component name, enter a particular module. Once you're done, you can choose from various types of charts available, give your measure for the y-axis, your grouping criteria, and then click on save. And that's how easily you can create a quick chart. So let's create a table chart to calculate the total number of leads generated. So click on add component. We give this a component name. We select the module. And now in the type, we go click on table. We select the y-axis measure to be count of leads. And the grouping criteria is this month. Click on save. You can now see that a leads table has been created to show that how many leads have been created in each month. And also a total of the same is displayed. Now let's create another chart to find out how each campaign conducted for a particular brand has worked. For this, we'll be going ahead with the column chart type. So we click on add component. Under charts, we click on quick chart. Give this a component name. We select the module, campaigns, and now we'll click on column chart. The measure of the y-axis is count of the campaigns, and grouping in this case can just be the campaign name. Once you're done, you click on save. You can find that a component has been created to show how many record has been created for each campaign that has been conducted during the year. Now consider this business scenario. As an owner of the agency, you've made profit plans and an estimated revenue that's supposed to be coming your way. For this goal to come to fruition, what would you do? You set goals for your team. Now, although there are different types of components to show how your business is performing, where exactly would you go search for to find out how far should the team go? What's left to reach the target? In this case, a target meter can be of best help. A target meter lets you set and monitor targets for your sales team. You'll be able to view the number of leads generated in the current year, annual revenue for the last quarter, or even sales target achieved in the past few months. You will not have to run through pile of reports, as all you have to do is choose the right target meter and define the relevant parameters to get the data. Based on your business requirement, Zoho CRM lets you choose from 4 different types of target meters: dial gauge, bar, multiple bar, and traffic lights. Let's take a look at a quick demo on how to use target meters. Now consider our business use case. We have a digital marketing agency. The business development team is the only revenue generating team, and they have to constantly onboard clients to the company. And like all teams have a target to work towards, the business development team also has a set of targets to achieve for each month. So let's set up a target meter for the digital marketing agency. To create a target meter, click on the Dashboards tab. Click on Add Component and click on Target Meter. In the Add Target Meter page, you can click on the desired style. Here, we're going ahead with a bar. Now, we give this a component name. We select the target for in this case, we select the target for leads, where the lead source is cold calls or employee referrals. We select the duration for this year and the target to be 1,000 leads. Once you click on save, you can now see the target meter has been created. When you hover the cursor on top of the progress, you will get actual details on how many leads have been achieved via cold calls and employee referrals and what percentage of target is achieved. You can also click on these three dots to edit the target meter and change templates to make data representation a little more easier. Now let's take a look at funnels. Funnel is already a popular marketing term. All sales strategies are planned at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel strategies. The sales activities are aligned in a way that leads are constantly followed up with emails or calls and eventually ensure that most of the leads convert as customers. Now, let's say you had a marketing campaign go out recently and you had leads coming in from various sources. So, you quickly want to take a look at the entire sales process and its efficiency. For this, do you go talk to your salespeople? And let's say you have a big sales team who split the work equally. How will you follow up with each of them to get an idea of the process? Here, a funnel can help you. A funnel segregates the data based on different stages involved in your business process. Based on your business requirements, Zoho CRM allows you to choose from 5 different types of funnels: standard, compact, classic, segment, and path. Let's take a look at a quick demo on how to use funnels. Consider this business use case. We have a particular scenario where the brand owner wants to check that from the leads that have come in for this month, how many of them have come from cold calls, employee referrals, and finally split them based on lead owners. This is a simple top of the funnel strategy that helps understand the drop rate already in terms of how likely your leads are to close. Since this is a digital marketing agency, a lead to convert, it either has to be from cold calls, employee referrals, or pre-qualified leads. Now, let's set up a funnel for this. We click on the Dashboards tab. Under Add Component, we click on Funnel. We choose the style to be Path. We give this a component name. And then we start building the stages. So for stage 1, we give it a name. We select the module to be leads and the duration is this year. Then we go to stage 2. And we wish to see if the lead source is cold calls, employee referrals, or external referrals. We move to stage 3. To check if the lead status is contacted, pre-qualified, then click on done. Then we move to the final stage where we wish to filter the leads based on particular lead owners. The lead owner is 2 of our users. Once you click done, here you can take a quick look at the stages built. Once you click on save, you can now see that you have a funnel showing you the number of leads that have come in to the number of leads that are filtered in the end with respective users. It also shows you a particular drop rate so that you can take actions moving forward likewise. Consider this business scenario. As an owner of a digital marketing agency, you get to constantly network. Now, you've just gotten a go ahead to meet one of the industry's giants. You're about to get the contact of your biggest client. Who do you give it to? Who do you assign it to? The entire team has been performing, but you have to give it to that one person who's been consistent and has had good numbers. On that note, where will you be able to take a look to study a year's worth of data in a single glance? Fret not, here's where quadrant analysis can help you. Quadrant analysis scatters the data that you want to analyze or measure into four quadrants. With this, you can analyze data such as the type of campaigns versus the revenue generated to identify the campaign that was most effective, or leads created versus lead source to identify the source you are gathering more leads from for the company. There are three components involved in quadrant analysis. They are axis, grouping, and benchmark. Axis. This is nothing but the parameters where the data is plotted in the graph. The x-axis is horizontal and the y-axis is vertical. Grouping. Here, you'll be able to specify how you want to group the data that is measured on the x and the y-axis. For example, deal owner, deal created, or even deal stage. If you group based on the deal owner, you will be able to see the number of deals created by each deal owner and the revenue generated by them. Benchmark. The threshold limit for the x and y axis can be defined as the benchmark. This splits the axis into four quadrants. There are two types of quadrant analysis, namely standard and advanced. Standard. This analysis allows you to visualize the data based on the following factors: the module you have chosen, how you want to group the data, that is by date or dimension, the metrics you define to visualize the data, the y and the x-axis, and the benchmark. Advanced. Like the name goes, the advanced analysis is an extension of the standard analysis which allows you to define how you want to group the data that you want to visualize in four quadrants. You can use the advanced analysis to visualize the data based on the module you have chosen, how you want to group the data, how you want to measure the group data, that is the number of deals or whatever, the metrics you define to visualize the data, the x and y axis, and the benchmark. Now, let's take a look at a quick demo on how to use quadrant analysis. Consider this business use case. You wish to run high budget campaigns for your company. You feel that it needs a bigger push to take it to the masses out there, but before you take the decision, you wish to take a quick data run to see how the previous campaigns had performed. So, you find which campaign that you had conducted had created more records for you and also compare the cost of the campaign. For this, to click on the Dashboards tab and under Add Component, click on Quadrant. Here, you can choose the required quadrant style. You can either go with standard or advanced. We go ahead with advanced. In the quadrant builder page, we give this a component name. And the object to be analyzed here is campaigns. And the grouping criteria is the created time. The count of campaigns will be the criteria filter. For the x-axis, we have the count of campaigns. And for the y-axis, we select sum of actual cost of campaigns. And for the benchmark, you can either split it equally or define custom values for both the axes. Here we split it equally. Now click on save. You can now see that a quadrant has been created showing you the actual revenue cost for each campaign created in the year 2019 and 2020. When you have to concentrate on a particular business process and track its growth alone specifically, you can depend on KPI. For example, Let's say you want to see if the leads generated are better compared to the number of leads generated in the same time the previous year. With KPI, it's possible without having to skim through a year's worth of data. With a single click and the right metrics defined, you'll be able to easily have a constant display of your data specifics of required business operations. KPI, Key Performance Indicator, is a standard measurement that demonstrates the effectiveness of your sales team in achieving important business objectives. It also gives useful analytics to help sales personnel increase their productivity by measuring their performance on a regular basis. Based on your industry requirement, you can choose from 5 different types of KPI styles: standard, growth index, basic, scorecard, and rankings. Here, you can rank your data by day, calendar week, month, fiscal quarter, and year. Now, let's take a quick demo on how to use KPIs. In our business use case, like we mentioned earlier, we have leads coming in to the agency as clients. To check progress, as the owner of the company, I wish to see if the company is making better progress than that of the previous year comparing the same times. So, let's quickly get a KPI to boost the CBO's confidence. Click on the Dashboards tab, click on Add Component, click on KPI. In the KPI style page, select a KPI style. Here we enter a component name. We select a KPI metric and a related module from the drop-down list. Run the duration for leads created this year. In the comparison indicator, we choose the comparison metrics and objective from the drop-down list. And once that is done, you click Save. You can now see that you have a component to show that your leads have performed better comparing to the previous year. Now, let's take a quick look at how to handle dashboard components data inside Zoho CRM. We can do this in 3 ways. In the Dashboards tab, in the Zoho CRM homepage, by embedding the component in external URL. You can always choose to create the components in specific dashboards of your choice. Remember the analytics gallery? You can also create dashboards for you that display distinctive information that provides your data for necessary business requirements. All dashboard components can be added to your Zoho CRM homepage. You can simply click on the 3 dots on the top right corner of the dashboard and then click on Add to Home. You can then go to your home page, refresh the page, and see that the components are active there. Also, when you want to display your company's information, obviously the shareable ones, to other websites, you can do that too from Zoho CRM. Come to the end of this webinar. Let's quickly take a recap and streamline the purpose of the 5 recommended dashboard components: funnel, target meter, charts, KPI, and quadrant analysis. 1. Funnels help identifying the entire sales process in a single place. So, a funnel is very important to identify what is happening and what has happened to the set of leads that had come in. A funnel gives you an overall perspective of things. So, let's say that a funnel is where you can start. 2. The target meter. This helps identify how much more is left so that the same can be inferred with a funnel. A funnel tells you what's happening, and a target meter tells you how much more is left to get to that goal. 3. Charts. Charts show contributions over time so that after taking a look at the target meter, guesses can be made on previous progress of the company to plan actions moving forward. 4. KPI show the key areas and their progress so that after one takes a look at the charts, they can come here to see how the performance of the key operations are. 5. Quadrant analysis. This shows the contribution of each salesperson in the organization. This can help in 2 ways. 1. It helps the manager identify who's performing better, or 2. Help the team members to keep a track of their progress and spark a competitive spirit. We hope that this focus group on Zoho CRM Dashboard Components was of value to you. Use the implementations, try and test them out based on your business requirements. Reach out to us even if you have the slightest of difficulties, and we'll be happy to assist you to get through the same. We'll meet you with another interesting webinar very soon. Until then, goodbye from us.